Melissa Williams wasn't fortunate enough to grow up in a loving home.
My mom had 4 of us back to back. I was born into a very dysfunctional, angry, disturbed family. By the time I became 4, my mom had too much struggle with us, so she bounced me around to my grandparents.
But her grandparents' home was a toxic environment.
My grandfather was an alcoholic and a drunk. My grandmother would leave for work, and I would just wake up every day knowing that what he was going to do to me, and I would have to just prepare myself for it, because as soon as I saw him take out that bottle of alcohol and know that he was going to drink it, and here he's going to take me up to the room and he's going to do what he's going to do to me, and it would just happen every day.
Melissa endured years of abuse at the hands of her grandfather until social services took her away. She spent her remaining adolescent years in over 40 foster homes.
I was a very angry child, because I just didn't know what I did was so wrong to deserve what had happened to me when my grandfather raped me, or to be not with my family or anything. Nothing made sense to me.
Melissa struggled with her self-worth, and at a tender age of 13, started venturing into a very dark, very adult world.
I had a bunch of group home friends and foster kids that I lived with, and they said, we know ways you can make money, you're a pretty girl. I started meeting older men. From the time I was 13 till almost 18, during that duration of my life, I was prostituting myself. For 3 years, I was just stripping and escorting and back and forth, and that's all I knew. That was my new lifestyle for Melissa, to just make money, go sleep with this guy, you'll have a place to stay.
She felt like her life was over before it even got started.
I became depressed and angry. I felt lost. I felt that this isn't how I want to live, but this is the life that I've been given, and I have no way out at this point.
Then she got the news that rocked her world.
When I got pregnant with my son, I was 18, turning 19. And I got pregnant with him because I had always longed to have a child. Not just a child, but someone to love me and someone I could love. But at this time when I had him, I was not mentally stable or able at this time to even parent him as a mom.
She gave birth to a young boy and named him Malachi. But she was deemed unfit, and he was taken away from her. A year later, it happened again.
My way of thinking wasn't right. I just thought, okay, you took this baby, I'm gonna have another baby. Okay, and if you take this baby, I'm going to have another baby. But I got pregnant with Marquise, and I gave birth, and they're gone. They're gone. And then my second child, he's gone. I didn't see no purpose to live anymore. I didn't see it. Why? My kids are gone.
2 children born, 2 children taken away. Melissa got pregnant again, now with child number 3.
I'm letting my kids be in my situation, which created me a mess, an angry person, a lost person, someone with no hope, doesn't even know what love is. Thinks sleeping with men is affection, is the right way to be, because they want you. It wasn't right.
Melissa felt unloved and had no one to love in return. Then she got pregnant with number 4.
Now 4th kid on the way. I was living like my mom. 4 kids, all in the system. What kind of mother am I? My prior worker had told me either you can abort, and she knew I was 6 months pregnant, she knew, or we're gonna take the baby.
At 6 months pregnant and not able to handle losing another baby, Melissa booked an abortion appointment, hoping that another option would come along.
My social worker came to me. She handed me a booklet and she goes, I want you to read this over. And it said Wings Maternity Home on top. filled out the papers. And she gave me a call and she goes, "Hi, Melissa. If you're willing to make the commitment, then I'm willing to take that walk with you." And April 1st, I moved in.
Wings Maternity Home is a nonprofit, faith-based safe home for young women in need of a loving and nurturing environment during and right after their pregnancy.
If you look at the sayings in the house, there's one walking right down in the basement, and every day I would go down there and she would notice that I would always look at the wall. And one of the statements says, is God will never take you to a place he cannot protect you. I turned to her and I look up and she goes, "What's wrong?" And I start crying and I said, "That's a lie." I said, that statement, that God doesn't take you to a place he can't protect you. I said, so where was he when I was being raped all those times, when my mom left me, when I had nobody? And she was like, you know, Melissa, he was there. My whole life, I never understood how God worked. And that was a major turning point in my life, because then I really understood God in a different light, in a different way, because now I understood that he was there, but he just couldn't stop that from happening, but he was there. That was when I realized that I, Melissa, really needed God. And this is where I want that help. This is where I want that in my life. I committed myself to God. I became more caring. I became more of a passionate person. And I became, I think, more clear-minded. I am so grateful for you and your home, because when I moved in here, I thought she was gonna press God on me. I thought she was gonna press all these things, but she let me just take that walk of faith in my own hands. 3 months into Marion's program, I'm doing great. I'm becoming a good mom. I'm just blossoming into a totally different person that I didn't even think myself was possible.
Melissa now knows what a loving home feels like, as 3 of her young children have been returned and are living with her.
I wake up to my kids. It was my first birthday this year. My daughter was returned home September 6th, my birthday last year. And I didn't want gifts this year. I didn't want anything. And I was just happy that my daughter and my son were with me. It was my first birthday I ever celebrated ever with my kids. And that was the best thing and the most rewarding thing I could have ever asked for.